Imagine, if you will, a world where December was not just another month of the year. A world without tinsel, a world without cheer. No decorations or lights in the tree, no plum puddings and the turkeys roam free. Imagine a world where carols weren't sung, where eggs were not nogged and stockings weren't hung. A world where children still know about Christmas, but adults forget all about that strange business. This is where our pageant will start, in a world where Christmas is falling apart.
You did it, Sam. Another case closed.
Well, you're happier about it than my client will be. It's not every day you have to tell your employer that their little girl's on her way to the big house.
I know things didn't turn out the way you'd hoped, but the department is grateful. Looks like we're in for your debt once again.
Well, I hope you remember that the next time I get out of a jam.
You know you could come back to us. There's a lot of water under the bridge now. I'm sure we'd welcome you back with open arms.
Thanks. But those days are behind me. Besides, I'm more used to everyone if I'm able to work outside the rules. I might be a good private investigator, but we both know I was no good as a cop.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, it is what it is. I need to get back to work.
Hey, I owe you one. I won't forget that.
Morning, boss.
Morning, Gerald. Any calls?
No, everything's quiet, but Mrs. Goldilocks is waiting for you in her office. I don't think she knows about her daughter yet.
Looks like I need to tell her the bad news. I'll put some coffee on, and if you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, call the police.
You got it.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Goldilocks, but it's not looking good for your daughter.
What do you mean? You promised me you'd get her out of trouble.
No, I told you I'd get to the bottom of things, and I'd help her if I could. But the simple truth is, your daughter broke into that house. She destroyed the Bear family's furniture, she trashed the place, and then she passed out in one of the kids' beds.
That can't be true.
I'm sorry, but the family have cameras throughout the house. It is all there to see in black and white video. Your daughter was completely out of control. A few months in the big house will do her the world of good. Let's hope it just straightens her out before she falls completely off the rails.
It's all my fault.
It's not too late for her. Let me get you a cup of coffee and we can talk about how to help her once she gets out.
I think you've done enough already.
Miss Goldilocks, you haven't settled your bill?
Let her go, Gerald. Besides, she'll be back sooner or later. That daughter of hers was a real nasty piece of work.
Boss, we can't keep letting people walk out of here without settling our costs. You owe me a pay rise and a pet axolotl.
I never agreed to that, Gerald. You know how I feel about amphibious salamanders.
But I want one.
Well, until we land another paying client, it is not on the cards, Gerald. I remember that morning, as if it was yesterday. Mrs. Goldilocks running from my office, Gerald nagging me about ugly amphibians, and me facing another dark, wet December, alone, with nothing for company except Gerald's empty axolotl tank.
Boss, you okay? Who are you talking to?
No one. Just doing some thinking. Where was I? Yes, December, the lowest point of the year. Crime was taking over the city, and I still couldn't land a single paying client. That was until she walked in. That was the day that everything changed, the day that would see me investigating the strangest crime I had ever heard of.
Boss, I have someone here to see you.
How can I help you, ma'am?
I need help, Mr.
People call me Sam.
Just Sam?
Yes, just Sam.
His last name is Panda. He just doesn't like to say it because it makes him more mysterious.
Gerald, don't you have some filing to do?
No, all up to date, Mr. Panda.
Not this.
problem. Something strange keeps happening to my family every December.
What do you mean, strange?
Well, a crime really, but, well...
Ma'am, if a crime has taken place, the best thing to do is to talk to the police. I'll take you down to the station if you'd like.
No, it's not that sort of crime. I mean, I tried to talk to them, but they wouldn't listen.
That doesn't seem usual. Our police are here to serve and protect.
It's just the crime I'm talking about. Well, it's a case of reverse burglary.
Sorry, did you just say reverse burglary?
Yes, reverse burglary.
I'm pretty certain that reverse burglary isn't... Well, what do you mean when you say reverse burglary?
It's exactly what it sounds like. Every year, on the same day, someone breaks into my home. They eat all the cookies and all the carrots, drink half my milk, and then leave things all over the house.
This sounds very peculiar.
It is, but it keeps happening every year, over and over again. December 25th, every year.
Well, what's so special about December 25th?
I don't know, but it's always that day.
Are there any other witnesses?
Yes, I have 2 children. Would you like to speak to them?
Yes. Yes, I would.
I'll just go and get them from the car.
Finally, my luck was beginning to change. Sure, it sounded like a hoax, but at least she was a paying client. I had worried about the theory that in all likelihood, the woman's 2 children were simply playing tricks on their mother. I'll wrap this up by lunchtime and have Gerald bill her for my time by afternoon tea.
Sorry, boss, were you talking to me? I couldn't hear you through the wall.
Gerald, I was not talking. I was thinking.
Pretty loud thoughts. There are a couple of kids here to see you.
Oh, send them in.
Hello,
Hello, Mr. Panda.
Sam. My name is Sam. What are your names?
I'm Clement.
And I'm Jemima.
So, kids, your mum has been telling me about some strange goings-on at your house. Can you tell me about it?
I don't see what the big deal is.
Me neither.
Every year, St. Nick visits us, and for some reason, Mom gets really upset about it.
Oh, I see. So you have a friend who visits each year.
No, he's not really a friend. He just leaves presents for us each December.
Ah! Why would a stranger leave you presents each year?
He's not a stranger. St. Nick visits loads of kids, not just us.
Yeah, he brings us presents because we've been so good.
None of this is sounding terribly good to me.
See, I told you, we shouldn't bother trying to explain to him. Adults never understand when we try to explain.
You're right, he's just like Mum.
No. Hang on, kids. I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt here. What don't I understand?
Well, didn't St. Nick visit you when you were a kid?
Well, what do you mean?
Didn't you ever find a present on December 25th? Not even once.
I'm not sure.
See, I told you, they never remember Christmas.
Christmas? What do you mean, Christmas? I've never heard of that word before.
Oh, come on, Jemima. Mom's waiting in the car. Let's go home.
No, this grown-up is different. Let me try one more time. Mr. Panda, are you really sure you can't remember getting a present on December 25th?
Well, now that I think about it, I'm not sure, Jemima. Why are you so sure that I've been a victim of reverse burglary?
It's not reverse burglary. St. Nick leaves presents for everyone who is good, and you seem like a good person.
Oh, yes. I guess I do try to be a good person.
I couldn't help but notice you have a buzzy bee on your desk.
Well, yes, I do have a buzzer bee on my desk.
Where did it come from?
You know, now that I think about it, I can't quite remember.
You see, Saint Nick gave me one of those buzzy bees when I was little. Maybe he gave that one to you.
I'm sorry, Detective Sam, but I need to get the children to their doily making class. Have you finished speaking to them?
Ah, yes. Yes, they can go.
Will you take our case?
Yes, I will. I'll be in touch.
Do we have a case?
Yes, I have a case.
Well, come on, spill the beans.
Well, I'm not really sure where to begin, Gerald. I thought those kids were just playing a trick on their mother. But the more they talked, the more they seemed to remind me of something. Something from when I was a kid.
I heard that lady say something about reverse burglary. I haven't heard of a case of anything like that for years.
You mean you've heard of reverse burglary?
Yes, my neighbour had it happen a few years back. It was very strange. One morning, their daughter was all excited, saying that an elf had come into the house that night and given her a pet axolotl.
Drop the nonsense, Gerald. Did that really happen or not?
Yes, like it really did happen. That little girl loved that axolotl. She was so happy. At that moment, I knew she was the happiest girl in the world.
When did this happen?
Well, now that I think about it, it was about this time last year. Sort of late December, just before Holiday.
So around December 25th.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes. Thank you, Gerald. You've just given me another idea.
Really? Like something to do with an axolotl?
What? No! You said Hogmanay, the Scottish celebration of the new year. You've made me realise what I need to do to move this case forward. I'm off to see my friends down at Scotland Yard.
On the far side of town, where the river turns blue, were a group of detectives who'd been having a few. So this is where our story restarts, with a small group of cops with no respect for the arts.
We'll take a poop of kindness yet for all lang syne.
Tremendous, laddies! 'Twill be a magnificent Hogmanay this year.
Our guy, the new.
Oh, a haggis bill, isn't it?
Aye, I've been soaking the stomach for a week now.
Our guy, the new. Illuvical haggis.
Nothing like the taste of Scottish cuisine.
Our guy, the new.
Aye, lads, it's time to get back to work. Crime doesn't just stop because we take a break to plan Hogmanay.
Hello. I was hoping to speak to Angus.
I am Angus.
Oh, my apologies. I mean Angus McAngus.
I be Angus McAngus.
No, my apologies again. I mean Chief Inspector Angus McAngus.
Heck, you should have just asked. Oi! Angus!
Aye, Angus.
Is Angus in?
Aye, he's in his office.
Our guy, the new. You can go on through.
Sam, it's good to see you.
You too, Angus. It's been too long.
How can I help you, old friend?
Look, I'll cut to the chase. I'm working on a case. It's a strange one, but I think you can help me.
Tell me more.
Well, it seems to go back over a few years. In fact, I think the perp may be a kind of serial offender.
Now, Sam, sounds like you're stepping into a sensitive area. You know I can't share information about a case currently under investigation.
Wait, just let me finish. I just need to see some old police reports, just to see if there is any connection between unsolved crimes and the one I'm investigating.
All right. Tell me more.
Thank you, Angus. I just want to see any reports of unsolved crimes on December 25th for say, the past 10 years.
Well, Sam, I wouldn't usually do this, but there was that time when my kilt got stolen and you returned it, no questions asked. I haven't forgotten that.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
And I appreciate that. Look, I'll have Angus bring in the files. I just ask you don't take them from the yard. Let me know what you find before you leave.
You have my word.
For hours and hours and hours Sam read, despite his growing feelings of dread. Year after year, or so it would seem, reverse burglary was becoming a bit of a theme. December 25th, it seemed, was the day when all sorts of presents appeared, come what may.
Stop it now.
Excuse me?
Your rhyming is terrible.
At least I don't talk to myself.
Well, who are you talking to then?
Look, mate, the story is quite strange. I'm just doing my best to draw it all together.
I don't need any help. I am perfectly happy sharing my thoughts out loud for anyone who might be listening.
Doesn't seem to be going too well from where I'm standing.
Okay, I get it. No one likes my brooding monologues. I'm just trying to be interesting. Maybe even a little mysterious.
I knew it!
Go back to the office, Gerald.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll help the story to move forward, but I'll drop the rhymes.
Thank you.
Okay, so where were we? Yes. Detective Sam spent hours reading the files, and it became clear that reverse burglaries happened all over the city, but only ever on the 25th day of December. Sam found other clues as well. While the adults reporting the crimes didn't seem to understand what was happening, time and again, Christmas seemed exciting for the children. And they were excited about the items left from the burglar. And that strange name, Saint Nick, seemed to come up over and over again.
So, Sam, have you found anything in these old files you need to tell me about?
Yes, there is definitely a pattern here. Each year on December 25th, some strange old man breaks into houses across the city, drinks all the milk, often raids the vegetable drawer, but then leaves a selection of items such as toys and new underwear in each house he breaks into.
Yes. I am familiar with this case. We had one of our officers look into it a few years ago. Angus, can you come in here?
Aye, boss.
What do you remember about those December break-ins you investigated a few years back?
Oh, aye. I think we got to the bottom of it. It was the one with that funny old fella up north. We had a wee chat with him and let him off with a warning.
You mean you know who this Saint Nick is?
Aye, let me think. Nick Claus, was it? Aye, he and his wife and his strange little children live in that toy factory up there in the snow.
You have an address for him?
Aye, we kept him in the system as a person of interest. Has he been breaking into the old place again? That's a shame. I really didn't want to have to arrest the old boy.
I tell you what, why don't you let me go up there and find out what this is all about? Maybe we can keep this one off the books.
Sam, you know I can't do that. I'll have to go up there and have a chat to Mr. Klaus myself. But I'll tell you what, you take the high road, I'll take the low road. And if I get there before you...
Enough said. Actually, why don't I take the low road?
Nah, you follow me. Good luck, Sam.
And so Detective Sam set off for the toy factory of Mr. Klaus to see if he could solve the crime of reverse burglary once and for all.
Hello? Is anybody home?
Hello there, who are you?
I'm Sam. I'm a detective.
Oh dear, not again.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing.
No, please, tell me.
Every few years, one of you grown-ups blunders up here wanting to know what we're doing.
You mean other people have investigated the reverse burglaries?
Reverse burglaries. Oh, that's a good one.
I'm here to solve a crime. The people that live here could be in big trouble. I don't see what's so funny.
Oh, humans, you really do take yourselves too seriously.
No wonder you forget about Christmas when you get old.
That's okay. So long as the kids remember who we are, that's all that matters. Do you even know when you forgot about us, Sam?
Have I met you before?
Of course you have. That buzzy bee you keep on your desk, I made that for you.
You did? I can't quite remember where it came from. It's like an itch at the back of my mind that I can't quite scratch.
That happens to almost all of you humans these days. You get all so busy and you forget all about the magic of Christmas.
Hang on. What did you say?
What? That you forget about the magic of Christmas?
Christmas. I know that word. It's strange. When you said it, I felt that I could hear bells ringing and smell pine trees and delicious food. And there's something else.
Look at that. He's getting a Christmas feeling.
Oh, yes, that's it. It's a kind of warm feeling inside. A happiness unlike any other.
Come on, Sam. I think you're ready to meet the boss.
And so the three elves led Detective Sam into the old toy factory. Inside was a hive of activity. Lots of elves wrapping up toys. Sam couldn't believe his eyes. He'd never seen anything quite like it. And then he saw a familiar face. But he couldn't quite say where from.
Are you Mr. Klaus?
I have many names, Sam, but not too many people call me Mr. Klaus. Some call me Saint Nick, some call me Santa Claus, but I have always been fond of Father Christmas.
How do you know my name?
I know the names of all good children, Sam, and you were always a very good boy.
But I'm feeling quite confused. You seem very kind, but I can't quite understand why you keep breaking into people's houses.
Since when was it a crime to be generous, Sam? I don't break in, I only go into houses where I've been invited.
Well, the woman who hired me didn't invite you in.
You're right. She did invite me in when she was young, but she doesn't have room in her life for me anymore. Too busy. But her children still know me. Christmas is always very close to the heart of children.
There's that word again. Christmas? What does it mean? Every time someone says it, I feel, well, happy.
Come now, Sam. I'll tell you the story of Christmas, and maybe then you will remember. Once upon a time, there was a young woman. You'll do. Come on up, young woman. Her name was Mary. One night, Mary was visited by an energy filled with light, a shining presence. It was an angel. Now I need an angel. Here come a group of angels. Come on up, my angels. And the angel said, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for there is a life growing inside you. You are going to give birth to a baby boy, and he will be filled with God, like all children are, and even more. He will be filled with God from the tips of his toes to the tip of his nose. So don't be afraid, Mary." And even though her heart beat fast like a galloping horse inside her chest, she said to the angels, "Yes." Mary had a feeling about this baby, a feeling just like your mum had when she had you. She had a feeling that this baby was going to be somebody. He was going to change things. He was going to hold the hands of the lonely and feed the hungry and give voice to the silent. He was going to show the world that everything is holy. And Mary felt her soul sing about the baby growing inside her. Now, back in those days, there were powerful, hungry men who were in charge of the country, and these men wanted to count how many people there were in the land. So they told people, gather yourselves up and head home to the place that you were born, and then we can count you, every single one. Now Joseph, who loved Mary and was going to be the daddy of that little baby, Joseph had been born a long way away in a tiny town called Bethlehem, and so he and Mary travelled there. When they arrived in Bethlehem, there was nowhere for them to sleep. So poor, tired Joseph ran around looking for a bed, but all he could find was a broken down shed at the back of an inn, and so that is where they set up camp. In the stable that night was a whole crowd of animals. They were all sheltering from the cold desert air. Here's our animal now. He's a lovely cow. And into that night, the wee baby, the one who was filled with God, was born. And all the animals looked on, and a bright star filled the sky, and it shone above their heads. And if you listened carefully, you could hear all the angels singing, just like they sing every time a baby is born. And to that stable came visitors, shepherds. We need some shepherds. Shepherds who had seen the star and heard the angels singing. Shepherds with arms full of woolly lambs and breath like smoke curling out into the cold. And wise people. Where are my elves? My wise elves. They came from across the desert. Wise people filled with ancient songs telling the story of God. These wise people came riding camels and carrying gifts to the tiny baby lying on the straw. All these things happened a long time ago. Every year we remember the story because it reminds us how special every child is and how much God loves all of us.
Is that what Christmas is about? The birth of a baby?
Yes, and Christmas is much more than that. That baby was a very special gift to all of us, just like every baby that is ever born. That baby was sent to remind us that each one of us is precious and that we are loved.
That's a pretty awesome gift. Is that really true? You know, the part about everyone being loved?
Yes, Sam, it is.
So is that why you give presents to people? To remind them of the birth of that special baby and how we are all special too?
Now you've got it.
I think I need to say sorry now.
Why do you need to say that?
Because you were always so kind to me, and I forgot all about you and all about Christmas.
But you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything.
So you know what you have to do?
Yeah, yes I do. Thank you so much.
Right, come on everyone. Back to work. Sleigh's not going to pack itself.
And so, with a glint in his eye, Mr. Klaus said goodbye to Sam, who hurried back to his office as fast as he could, only pausing to make a few special arrangements for the following day.
Morning, boss.
Good morning, Gerald.
Boss, what's going on in here?
What do you mean?
Well, why is there a tree in your office?
Well, that case I've been working on, it helped me remember a few things. Things that just felt right for December.
Why is it twinkling like that?
Well, I popped some lights into it. Doesn't it brighten up the place?
What's that funny smell? Not the tree, something else.
Ooh. Well, I did a spot of baking. Would you like to try a cake? Yes, it does taste like something went a bit off.
It's just a horrid concoction of dried fruit with no actual cake to speak of. Whatever possessed you to make such a monstrosity?
Yes, I admit adding raisins to any type of baked good did feel like a huge error in judgment. But that's not all I have to show you.
Wow, hardly wait.
Oh, so you won't be wanting this then?
Oh no, I'm quite interested.
Don't worry about it, Gerald. I can give this to someone else.
Oh, raspberries.
Don't be like that. Here you go.
Thank you so much. Is this what I think it is?
Yes, Gerald. This is an empty fish tank.
Thank you.
Which, you can put your new pet axolotl in when you pick it up from the pet store after work. I thought you might like to pick out your own.
Oh, thank you so much. You're the best.
I know. Yeah, okay, you can go now.
The best. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
From that day forward, Detective Sam...
Excuse me,
Oh, sorry, Sam. I was just trying to wrap things up.
but would you mind if I gave this a try?
No. Be my guest.
And so that's where I found myself, alone in my office again, with nothing but my thoughts for company. December. Only days before, I thought of this as the worst time of year. But now I realise December is the best time of year. A time of year when people are kinder, more generous. A time when we remember to make the most of things. A time when gifts are given, songs should be sung, and actually, that's what we need. Gerald! Gerald!
Yes, boss.
Gerald, I know things seem a bit odd this morning. There's a tree in my office. I've given you a present. There is a turkey roasting on the kitchenette. And it's probably best that we don't revisit the cake issue. But I think we really need is a song. A good Christmas song. Can you round up a few people for a good old sing-song? I'm sure the people from Scotland Yard would be up for it.
Come on, everyone. It's time for a carol.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round your virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Thank you very much.
Hallelujah.
Oh. Oh. Yes. Thank you.